Well, hello, everybody. I hope we left you enough time to eat your lunch. I know I had mine. It was really delicious. I hope you enjoyed it. Uh, right now, we'd like to start up our afternoon session. I'd like to invite the president of NCAN, also known as my wife, uh, up to the podium. So please welcome Maryann Wahmann.
My little thing, yes. Thank you. Yes, yes. Okay. Well, first of all, I have to thank our sponsors. Thank you, Lexington, for the wonderful meal. Thank you to Novartis, to Ipsen, the Healing Net Foundation, the University of Kentucky, and to our newest members, and that is the Kentucky group, support group, which will get that going in a little while. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Maryann Wahmann. I am the founder and president of the Neuroendocrine Cancer Awareness Network. We originally were called the Carcinoid Cancer Awareness Network because, of course, I had carcinoid. So I'm going to talk to you about patient advocacy and how important it is to educate yourself, to question, if you have questions to the doctor, to make sure that you get your answers. So, as patients, we deal with a lot of issues. And I don't know how many people here were misdiagnosed, but I know for myself, I was misdiagnosed for 7 years. So before we start, I usually like to just do a quick thing where I'm going to ask you to raise your hands. One, how many people were misdiagnosed? How many were misdiagnosed for a year? How many were misdiagnosed 2 to 3 years? How many were misdiagnosed 5 to 7 years? How many were misdiagnosed 10 years or more? A lot. Okay, now we're going to ask the real question is, how long of a survivor are you? Are you newly diagnosed? 1 year or less? 2 years or less? 3 years or less? How about 5 years? 6 years? 7? 10? 15? 16 years. I've been diagnosed 16 years, and I know that 7 years before that I had this disease. So there is hope out there. When I got diagnosed, I went online and they told me I was going to be alive for only 5 years, and here I am, and I have no plans on going anywhere. So what is a patient advocate? Well, you have to be your own patient advocate. You need to learn about your medical condition. You need to get as much information as possible. You need to make sure that you're using legitimate sites. Don't read some of the old data. Stay with the new data. And always, if anybody says that you should be doing this or you should be doing that, please check with a medical professional before doing so. Because sometimes when you're on Facebook or other sites, you can be bullied into doing things that you really don't want to do. And these people that are running Facebook or other organizations are not they're patients. They're not medical professionals. So please, please, before doing anything, check with your medical professional. Cancer advocate groups try to make public awareness. Now, in 2003, when we founded NCAN, or CCAN, we decided to use the zebra as our logo. And the reason why we did that was because doctors are taught, when hearing hoofbeat, think of horses, not zebras. They're taught to look for the common and not the uncommon. We are uncommon. But another really reason is that because no two patients are exactly alike. So the person sitting next to you may have neuroendocrine, but they might have a totally different disease. There's maybe in their intestines, it may be a peanut, it may be a lung, and that each one of us is so different. Our markers are different, our treatments are different. Well, the zebra's fingerprints are their stripes. No two zebras have the same stripes. So, facts taken away from patient support groups. There are so many misconceptions out there. A lot of doctors tell their patients it's benign. There's no mets. You've had surgery. Don't worry about it. You never need to follow up. You're cured. And there is nothing new in treatment. There is so much new in treatment. There has been such great leaps in the last several years and more to come. And that a lot of patients are told tumor removal cures you. Don't always believe that. Now, it was a long, exhausting journey that I took. 7 years, different doctors, and I needed answers. I was told that I had irritable bowels. I was told I had Crohn's disease. I was told I had ulcerative colitis. I was told it was my lupus flaring up. I was told that all I needed to do was eat more fiber and I wouldn't have diarrhea. I was told I was crazy, which maybe I am. I was told while Robert was sitting next to me at a doctor's office holding my hand that we needed a marriage counselor because I was acting out because my marriage was bad, and that was the furthest thing from the truth. But my journey is not not unusual. It's like many of you out there, you know, an average of 5 to 7 years to be diagnosed or being diagnosed with the wrong disease is totally unacceptable. And we as a community need to stand together and say, we're not going to take this. We need to get this education. We need to get the awareness out there. And each and every one of you can do it. You don't need to have a lot of money to do it. All you need to do is wear your pins, wear your bracelet. If you're standing online in a grocery store and somebody happens to see your zebra bracelet or something, tell them about the disease, because you know what? You never know when you're going to be the one that saves that person's life, because you never know if they're actually a net patient or not. Effective treatments do exist, and there's new diagnostic therapies available every day. This year, we're very lucky to have PRRT, Zemella, the gallium-68 coming out. It's just been a very, very exciting year. So how can I make sure that those treatments are available to me? You can find out from your doctors exactly if they have the gallium scans available or the PRRT, which will be available eventually, and also other drugs. Be proactive. Speak to the experts. Attend support group meetings. Like I said, I love Facebook, and it's really, really great, but honestly, the best place to meet and to get the right information is to go to a support group meeting. And I'm not talking about a support group meeting at your cancer center that does all cancers. You need to go to a neuroendocrine or carcinoid cancer support group meeting, because you're going to find out little tidbits that no other cancer can explain to you. They do not understand the diarrhea. They do not understand the flushing. They do not know the little secrets of if you're having diarrhea and in the past you can boil water, rice and water, and drink the rice water to help slow it down. Little things like that are not available at a normal cancer support group meeting. Come to educational events like NCAN. You know, we have this meeting here. We have a national meeting that we do where we have 500 to 600 patients and caregivers just like you. Interact with them. Take a moment to get to know who's next to you. Exchange telephone numbers, because that's how you're going to get your support system going. You know, many nets secrete different hormones and bioactive amines. You know, very different symptoms. You know, my tumors, I secrete serotonin. I also secrete high levels of histamine. So I have a totally different problem. And so for 4 years, I was breaking out with almost like hives, and that weren't like bumps or anything. And for 4 years, I was going absolutely out of my mind. And I found out by going to a specialist that in fact, I was secreting histamines, and that I needed to take an H2 blocker and an H1 blocker. So I take Benadryl and I take Zantac. And as long as I take that, I don't have the histamine release. So it's very important that you let the doctors know what's going on. And even though it's very, very easy, I know I do it myself, you say, I'm going for my CAT scan, I'm going for my MRI, and I'm going for this, and I'm going for that. I'm not going to go for my prostate test. I'm not going to go for my mammography. I have carcinoid. I have neuroendocrine. I don't have to worry about those things. That's not true. Make sure you stay up to date on all your tests. That includes your echocardiogram, a mammography, a sonogram, whatever needs to be done. Please stay on top of it, because sometimes even the smallest symptoms needs to be checked out, because it might be something else going on besides that. Save your life by making sure that you're getting the best possible treatment, best treatment possible. And that is by at one point in your treatment, you should see a net specialist. You don't have to go to one of the net specialists and travel every month, but go and make sure that your local doctor is working with somebody that knows about nets and that you're getting the right treatment. That's very, very important. Make sure that you keep networking with everybody, keep learning, keep following up, reach out to a net specialist, ask as many questions as possible, and if you're not getting what you need with your local doctor, find a new one. Because if I had not continued with those 7 doctors and doing the 7 colonoscopies and the 7 endoscopies and listened to them, I would not be here today. You are paying the doctors. You have a right to fire the doctor if you're not getting the answer or the treatment that you need. So what inspired NCAN to do what we do? Why did I become a patient advocate? I really don't know. That's not true. You know, I was an at-home mom. I was very happy not working or doing anything. Had a really great life. And I got diagnosed with this disease, and I went online, and it scared me. I heard the word carcinoid cancer, and I freaked out. I went online, and I started reading 5 years. Oh, my God, I really got to get my stuff together. And then I realized that by educating myself that there was a lot of treatment options out there and that it's not as scary as I thought it was. So we started raising funds for the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation to help with research. And Robert and I said, you know what needs to be done? We need to bring awareness to this disease. We need to get the word out about it. And so that's why we decided on the zebra. And we designed the bracelets that you all have in your bag and the pins and you know, we do awareness programs all over, but that was really important to me. But the other thing that was really important to me was the support system. When I got diagnosed, the only foundation at that time was the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation, and their office was only open Tuesday through Thursday. When did I get diagnosed? Thursday at 5 p.m. So I sat there from Thursday to Tuesday going, oh my God, I'm looking online, I'm gonna be dead in 5 years, what am I gonna do? There's nobody to talk to. At the time, there was no Facebook, there was really no support at all. And I said, you know, we need to get the awareness out there, we need to get the support system out there. So NCAN has a hotline that's open 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that's answered by myself, Robert, or my daughter back there, Tricia. And we field calls for patients who are concerned and need guidance of where to go, you know, is this normal? So when you're talking to us and you call us, it's about knowing that we actually know exactly what you're going through. You're not talking to somebody that's just yesing you. We've been there. I've done that. I'm not going to do that to you. We reach out in different ways. You know, we reach out through these conferences. We reach out through the hotline. We are now growing, and we're actually doing medical professional organization meetings to get the doctors more involved. We help patients and families navigate their journey. We help them find the right doctors to go to. We find them how to get financial help. We do a information packet that if you write to me and send me your name, address, and telephone number, I send you out an information packet. It has all the different treatments out there, all the different blood tests that need to be done, and any kind of resource to help you with financial help or whatever. So these are a few ways that we help. And like I said, this is actually, I believe, our 56th conference. This is back in 2007. And as you can see, Dr. Anthony and his beautiful wife, Kathy, is there. And Dr. Odovicio and Sue Odovicio and Dr. Waltering and his wife. That was back in 2007. We have social media. We give the free information packet. We have the hotline. We have awareness merchandise. And we have our conferences. But also, if you go to our website, these events are recorded. So you can go back and look at these events over and over again. So don't panic that you missed something today, because in a few weeks, they'll be up on the website so you can get it. All our information is inside your bag, our brochures, our telephone number, and everything like that. So in I can't even remember, 2008, I believe it was, 2008, Tricia came home from school, my daughter Tricia. comes home from school, and she said, "Hey, Ma, why is it that all these other cancers have all these walks? Why aren't we doing a walk?" And I kind of looked at her and said, "I think I have enough on my plate with all these conferences." And she said, "Okay, I'll take care of it." And so Tricia went, and she got the permit for the park and set it all up, and we had our first zebra walk. And now it's 9 years later, and we have the zebra walk on Long Island. It's really great because it brings the community together, and it not only brings the patients, but it brings the families and stuff together. Back in 2009, Robert and I were approached by Novartis Pharmaceutical that we needed to get a worldwide neck cancer day. And so Robert and I headed that up and then brought in a whole bunch of other international groups to form the first World Neck Cancer Day in 2010. And every year, November 10th, is Neck Cancer Awareness Day, so make sure you wear your stripes on that day. This year, so far we've had 13 Celebrations of Life gala. These galas that we do are to raise money to continue our programs, but it is also an opportunity to celebrate the life of each patient, that we're here another year to celebrate, and that's really important. A lot of groups will raise money, and they'll ask you for $400 or $500 for a plated dinner. We make it as affordable as possible because I want the patients to come. I want you to celebrate your life. I want to celebrate the fact that you're here another year and that we're getting one step closer. Okay. So we continue paying it forward. Since 2007, I believe, we have Neck Cancer Awareness Month and also Carcinoid Cancer Awareness Month in New York, and we are spreading across the country. It was very important to me to pay it forward because of having this disease. I wanted to help other people. I once when I started the support group in 2002, I got a phone call from a young man whose father, who had an appendiceal carcinoid 20 years earlier, was told he was cured and never to worry about it again. He ended up with throat cancer, and they started doing some scans and stuff, and it turned out that he actually had metastases to his liver and throughout his body. And it wasn't actually the throat cancer, it was carcinoid. So the son had called me up and said, "Maryann, is there anything that you could do to help me, guide me? The doctors have given up on my father, and they told me that he'll be gone in two weeks, and to go get his paperwork together." And I called him back and I said, "Listen," I said, "I'm going to get in touch with Dr. Warner, and I'm going to get I'm going to get your father in there to be seen." And so he went to see Dr. Warner, and he went to a huge center in New York and brought the information that Dr. Warner had wanted him to start chemo. And the hospital said to him, "Hey, listen, I told you, your father's going to be gone in 2 weeks. There's no sense of even trying this drug. Just go home, get things ready." The son continued to call me back and said, "What am I going to do?" And I said, "Well, let me call my oncologist." I said to my oncologist, "Listen, this man is down to 100 pounds. He can't eat. He can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. I'm not asking you to save his life because I know that it's near the end. However, can you give this man some dignity and have his life pain-free for the next few weeks? And maybe let's try the chemo and see how he does." And so man tried the chemo, and I'm happy to report that after 18 months, he was still alive. And he was able to gain the weight. He was out of the wheelchair. He was walking around. And he got to see his children get married, and he got to see his first grandchild be born. Now, you might say to yourself, what's 18 months? 18 months to that man was a lifetime of memories to his family. And that is why I stand here today to make sure that you get the treatment you need, because every day counts. Every person in this room matters. Don't take no for an answer. Keep fighting. In 2010, I don't know how many people have been around a long time, but Monica Warner was Dr. Warner's wife, and she was an amazing advocate for us. And in 2010, I was honored by Novartis with the Monica Warner Award. And in 2016, I was just honored by the Oncology Association of Oncology Nurses with the Hero Hope Award, and it was very, very humbling to win an award like that. Because what I don't do for myself. I do this for the families. I have a daughter that has this disease as well. So it's not only for me, it's for her. It's for my grandchildren. It's for you. It's for your family and for your children. And I will continue doing this until we find a cure. So there's been a lot of progress in the last 14 years, and I'm happy to be part of the solution. But I need you to be part of the solution. I need you to be an advocate for yourself. I need you to be an advocate for your families. And I need you to be an advocate for the future. We have children, like I said, right now they're saying only 30% of us are familial carcinoid and that we can pass it on to our family. I'm not too sure I really believe that. I do not believe this disease is rare as they say it is. I get calls on average of 150 to 200 calls a month of new patients. This is not rare. This is just misdiagnosed. So here's some of the things that we do. Please, please take advantage of the services we offer. Pick up the phone. You have any concerns, pick up the phone. I do answer the phone calls. It is Christmas Day. I answer the phone call. My daughter will tell you on the way to my son's wedding, I was on the phone in the limo. This is important to me, and it should be important to each and every one of you. So thank you.